last but not least, one of the greatest forces in my life recently as well, Nancy Monson. I loved learning about Nancy. We're really going to focus in on you. You know, we've been dealing with websites and relationships and how you're designed to shine. And Rebecca's fabulous speeches around coming out of hiding and shining and how you bloom where you're planted and this kind of thing. Nancy actually works on the inside, on your own human design. And I've found out some really amazing things about me and why I do what I do and why I don't do other things. So I think you're going to be intrigued. I know you're going to be educated and you're going to be amazed. And she has just a way of presenting this and making you all feel like you just knew it because you did. Let's welcome Nancy Monson to the stage. Yes, you're so welcome. Thank you.
It's 1994. I just graduated from one of the top business schools in the world. I was hired by one of the leading international consulting firms in the world. I worked really hard. I did everything they asked me to do. And in less than 2 years, I was promoted to manager. I became an executive of the firm. I should have been thrilled. The partners affirmed that I was partner material, and I had my career and lucrative future laid out in front of me. But the truth was I was miserable. I was incredibly exhausted, incredibly burned out, stressed out, and terribly unhappy. And then one night, in May of 1996, I awoke from a fitful sleep at 3 a.m. Where am I? I don't know where I am. Oh, there's a light under the door. But that's not my dresser. Oh, that's right. My team and I went out after work, and I didn't want to drive home, so I got a hotel room. Okay, I know where I am. I'm okay. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Oh God, here come those voices again. You have no idea what you're doing. You are a failure. They're going to find out that you're a fraud, and they're going to fire you. The world and everyone would be better off if you just disappeared. I sob, and I sob until exhausted, I fall asleep. A few days later, I'm telling my closest friend about these episodes that I'm having. Nancy, this is serious. This may cost us our friendship, but I have to tell you what I'm seeing. You're not well. You need to get help. Please, please tell me you'll go see a doctor. I'm not that sick. I'm just exhausted. I've been working so many hours. I just need some time off. I'll go to the doctor and I'll ask for some time off. I just need to rest. So I go to my doctor's office. When he comes in, I'm not even on the examination table. I'm sitting in the corner on a tiny little triangular bench. And I start to tell him about these episodes, and I immediately burst into tears. I just need a couple weeks off. I'm so tired. No, I'm not giving you 2 weeks off. You have anxiety and depression. You need 3 months off. Here is a prescription for Prozac, and here is a referral for a therapist. What? I can't take 3 months off. They'll fire me. They'll kick me off my project. It's impossible. I agree, eventually, to take the time off. I'm so ashamed that I've been diagnosed with a mental illness. I can't tell anyone. About that time, I was having a breast biopsy because they wanted to make sure I didn't have breast cancer. I just let people think that I was dealing with breast cancer rather than reveal that I had been dealing with anxiety and depression. Well, it took me far more than 3 months to recover from that terrible illness. I actually had to leave my life and reinvent myself. I left my toxic job. I left an unsupportive relationship. And I went on a 20-year quest to find out how to build a life that made my heart sing, that fed me and didn't drain me. I got the opportunity to experience many wonderful things. Learned human design, learned spiritual guidance, learned to be a coach, went to Vedic studies and learned about ancient Indian philosophy. It was wonderful. The most amazing thing that has served me and has helped me understand why my journey was the way it was discovering human design. I know earlier I mentioned human design, and many of you are familiar with that system of self-awareness. It came to us around the mid-1980s, and it is the most accurate system of self-awareness that I've ever run across. I've done hundreds and hundreds of sessions with clients, and they always say, scary, spot on. It's so profound. What it did for me is it helped me to really understand, as I said, why I was doing the things I was and why I wasn't happy. And it revealed to me who I was and how to make great decisions. So I want to share with you today 3 tips that human design taught me about myself. The first is that I learned, let me get my little paper here. Trust your inner guidance, your built-in decision making. We all have a way to make decisions in our bodies that work for us. Most of the time we end up in our heads arguing with ourselves, pros and cons, should I do this, should I do that? But our decision making is always in our body. And particularly as women, we're not taught to listen to our bodies. We're taught to stay in our heads. It's safe there. I actually did know how to make great decisions. The problem was I didn't do it consistently. Many years ago, I was in a coach training program, and I met a man who was just finishing a 2-year spiritual guidance training program. I was enthralled. I never knew you could do such things. I asked him dozens of questions. I couldn't stop wondering what that program was like. It moved me so much. I went back to my life and forgot about this spiritual guidance training for several months. And then about 1 month before the next 2-year program was going to start, I had this instantaneous impulse, I need to be in that program. So I called my friend Bruce and I said, I don't know if there's room. It's so close to the start of the program. Do you think there's a chance? He says, it's amazing that you called me right now. I'm going to see Atum, our teacher, this weekend. I'll ask him. Bruce gets back to me. Sure enough, there was 1 cancellation. There was an opening. And Atum had recommended that I apply. I was so excited. I was telling my boss that I was going to be in this program, but I was very worried that I didn't think I could afford it. It was 2 years traveling back and forth to Canada to attend workshops. She says, you have to be there. You have to be in that program. I'm writing you a $500 donation check, and I want you to take the time off you need from work because you have to be there. I was stunned. No one had ever given me any money for a program. It took me a little while to even be able to accept her generous gift. She encouraged me to ask others. I did. It was not easy, but I got a lot of people to donate money to help me take that program, which has been a pivotal program for the work I do today as a soul purpose advocate. So I did know how to make my own decisions, but the problem was I didn't understand why I was so good at that particular decision. Human design revealed that to me, and now I make decisions more consistently based upon how I'm designed to function. So I have a question for you. When have you made a great decision? And how was that process? We have the wisdom within us to know what works for us. But what keeps you from doing it consistently? That's conditioning. We all have conditioning. Once we learn about our conditioning, we can then let go of it and go back to what is our innate wisdom. The second tip is to embrace your natural gifts and talents. I discounted my natural gifts and talents. I just assumed everybody could do that. It was no big deal. I thought you had to work hard to be good at something. That disbelief, that misbelief was brought home to me so poignantly when I did a human design reading about a year ago for a 72-year-old woman. At the end of the reading, she's in tears. I ask her, "What touched you so deeply?" She shares with me in a shaky voice, "I wish I would have known this 30 years ago. I've been fighting against myself my whole life." That to me said what a powerful tool this could be to help all of us claim our birthright of our innate gifts and talents and not fight against them, not bury them in the shadows, to bring them out and celebrate them. So I ask you a second question. What are your innate gifts and talents that you're not embracing and bringing out to the world? The third point is to banish your self-judgment and your self-criticism. I already shared with you a little bit about my inner critic earlier that I developed from an early age. All of us are subject to conditioning. Gary talked about it earlier. As little children, we're not necessarily given the emotional needs that help us feel safe. We're not seen for who we really are. Our parents aren't given a beautiful design that they go, "Oh, this is who my child is. I'm going to support that," right? What a different world it would be if our parents had that. I know my conditioning started very early. I was 6 years old. It's Christmas. I'm so excited. My brothers and sisters are here. My nieces and nephews are here. I love it when they come to visit. Look, there's my daddy. He's got the fancy movie camera with the big lights. I love it when he brings out the camera. I love to be in the pictures. I love to perform. I love to make funny faces. I love being in the camera. My mother enters the room. "Nancy Lynn, get over here. You're embarrassing me." She pushes me into the bedroom. I trip, fall, and hit my face on the bed frame. "Ow! Oh, I'm sorry, Mommy. I know it's my fault. I didn't mean to. I'll be good. I'll be quiet." I sneak back into the living room, sitting in the corner, hoping no one will notice me. Experiences like that happened to me my whole life and put into the shadows my bubbly, vivacious, outgoing little girl who loved to perform. Human design helped me to reclaim that little girl who I lost so long ago. I ask you to take a minute to think about what is holding you back. Where have you been conditioned? What is keeping you from claiming the gifts and talents that are truly yours? Would anyone like to share something that they know is one of their conditioning inner critics? Yeah, Julia.
Do you think you're Oh, yeah. You think you're a writer? You're not Hemingway.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Somebody else? Yes. Yes, Carol. Who do you think you are, Van Gogh? Yes. 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 Sometimes our conditioning and our inner critics are reflected in our relationships. As Gary was saying, we attract the problems that we face. Yes, please.
This is a cultural one. It's how come you think you're so good?
Oh, yes. Ooh, vicious inner critic. Yes. Yes. So we have these inner critics, and they keep us hiding our true gifts and talents. In closing, I want you to just think where you were 5 years ago and what struggles were holding you back then. Now today, are those struggles still haunting you? Are those limiting beliefs still hanging around, coming out at the most inopportune time? And where will you be 5 years from now? Will that same problem still be dragging behind you? Now is your time. Don't wait another day. Take the step now to make a change and let go of what's holding you back and claim your birthright of who you truly are. If my friend hadn't been willing to share what she saw in me, I don't know that I'd be standing here in front of you today. Let me be your friend. Let me help you take a great step towards being the woman, the man that you are designed to be. In closing, remember my 3 points. Trust your inner wisdom, your inner guidance. Embrace your innate gifts and talents. And banish for good your self-criticism, your self-judgment, your limiting beliefs, and claim and stand in the star that you are. Thank you.
Are you a speaker looking to reach more people with your message? You have a global vision that you want to touch the world and make a global difference. If so, I have an amazing opportunity for you. It's called the Speaker Talent Search. Again, that's the speakertalentsearch.com. You'll find all the details, but here are the highlights. With one application process, you get clarity on your message. You get to fine-tune how you want to reach the world. Then you'll have everything ready in one place for the opportunities when they come. Second, we select you as a finalist. You get to come in and audition with a 7-minute audition, open up the door to hundreds of speaking opportunities. I hope you lean in. I hope you say yes. We would love to hear your message, help you touch the world powerfully. Again, that's the speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your powerful message.